Pflugerville area photog. Great. Pat, thank you for joining me on the show. This is a first, so.
Yeah, glad to be here.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever, interviewed you. I know, we're usually out there, I'm shooting video, you're shooting photos, and we usually chop it up a little bit and have something to say in between. But, man, we are in a different world, Pat McCord. Can you kind of talk about, how you've been able to get your photo grind on, with, restrictions and social distancing and all that?
Well, there's not a lot of sports going on, which is what I love to do is action sports of any kind. And that all came to a screeching halt a few months ago. I spent a lot of time doing a lot of free senior portraits. I think the seniors got a real riff this year. So I said, hey, I'm going to go out and do as many free senior portraits as I can this year. I did 64 of them. So,
wow.
So staying behind the camera, doing a little bit of work here and there. But I'm really concerned that we're not going to have, volleyball, football, basketball this year.
Oh, my God. I don't want to cry on the air, Pat. Pat, was Pat around when you were around, Zach? I'm pretty sure.
Me and Pat McCord go way back. We actually go to the same church, so we've been big family friends for the longest time.
Did I not know this?
And I remember seeing him on the sidelines or in the dugout, near the dugouts for baseball games. And once I started covering for Friday Night Fan being on the sideline with him. So, Pat, I just wanted to ask you, just looking back at all of your work and all the people that you've gotten to cover and shoot, how cool is it to see some of these people make it to the NFL, like the Samaje Perines and things like that?
I think it's incredible, and you can see it when they're starting to emerge as a star or as a force. You go to something like the Army game in San Antonio, you go to one of the Senior Bowls or something like that, and these guys have played high school ball, and now they got people calling them to the sidelines to get their autograph. There's a look on their face that they've never had before. And then when you see them on Sunday morning or Sunday afternoon football on television, or even in college on Saturdays, I mean, it makes you feel good. You've known these kids from a long time. You know a story behind them. Nothing got handed to them. They worked for every single spot they ever earned, and you're really proud to see them there.
All right, Pat McCord on the phone, Pflugerville Sports. Pat, so I know, I don't want to say the culture or the juice or the drip has kind of pushed more towards Weiss here in the last year. But can you kind of explain what it's like covering the Pflugerville dynamic now that Weiss has kind of emerged as the top dog of the area, in my opinion, or at least going that direction?
Yeah, I think they've really shown themselves to be real strong. I also think Pflugerville and Hendrickson themselves were kind of in a rebuilding year this year, so it'll be interesting to see where that goes with some big guys like Elijah Oakmont out there working it. But there's Weiss is new, and so they didn't have a culture. So whatever they're going to learn in these first 3 or 4 years is what's going to drive them for 10. And if they build that culture of winning, they're going to drive for that. That's going to be something that they're going to want and expect. So, I think it's a great program.
Yes, it is. It is strange to see because you just never know what schools are going to wind up. Because we've watched Eastview come on and have success, and of course Vandergrift. And when we talk about those schools, you're talking about coming onto the scene in 2008, 2010, etc. But yeah, seeing Weiss, especially after the first year that they had in varsity, to now, I just feel like just a rush of the wave for Pflugerville dominance at Weiss. But anyway, we can talk about that all day. But I do love Hendrickson. Shout out to Connolly and Pville too. Yeah. All right, Pat, I appreciate you, man. Thank you so much. It was great to see you at the final game. Real quick thoughts on that game.
Well, I thought it was a good game. It was entertaining to watch, and I thought it was interesting how both of the teams were comprised of 4 or 5 players from each of the schools. So it wasn't like a Connolly, Hendrickson, Pflugerville, Weiss type thing. It was all the schools against all the schools, and it was kind of fun to see a couple of the the hitters from a school get a hit off of their own pitcher type of thing. So I thought that was a lot of fun. But you could tell that, they had a great time out there. They really wanted to do this. And I thought that, they weren't out there goofing around. They put on an entertaining game.
Yeah. All right, Pat McCord, I appreciate you. Zach, anything before we get out of here? You good?
No, man, Pat's a legend, man. He's been doing it for a long time.
Bro, Pat, dude, you are a legend. And you
Don
need
Poole.
You need to hear this because you give so much of your life to giving and to featuring that you really don't get featured, and that's why anytime, like I saw you recording with David, I'm like, I gotta shoot him. I'm like, because they work so hard. You're out there. David is an up and comer. I was glad to see y'all kind of palling it up. And anyway, thank you, Pat.
All right.
Wait, hold on. Do you have any shout outs, Pat?
Well, I always give a shout out to my family because they tolerate me being away for so much time when I'm off chasing football, basketball, baseball, and everything else. So my family really supports and endorses me in what I do. So I give my wife Cindy and my daughter Megan a shout out.
Pat McCord, the GOAT. Pat, man, I hope I get to see you again soon in some facet. And, I know, anyway, we'll just pray for the best.
I've been on that sideline for 21 years. I'm looking for 22 this year.
Hey.
So. All right.
Same, buddy. Talk to you soon. Thank you.
All right, see you soon. All right.